I'm a commerce graduate. I'm a specialized in corporate secretaryship. I work in the banking industry and logistic industry, mostly as an investment banker. I started my career as an investment banker, went through around sales, most of mutual funds, proper stock banking guy. Then I switched my gear to logistics. And went around for marketing. And how the data fascination started towards me inside me is that when I was in the bank, okay, when I was in the bank, I was about maintaining. I was a customer relation management for 400 customers, and I started building my own management database management of what are the customers, how the transaction flows, and how to analyze the transaction, how to outperform it. Just because I was able to analyze the customer transactions and about understanding their banking transactions, I was able to outperform. That is where the data analytics point, the data fashion towards me started towards it. And I found that maybe I should try for data analytics. Okay. Then I went to a logistics firm where the company, which is proper small firm, where we able to take it to a mid-level firm with just because of database management and the data analytics skills by acquiring clients from both the US and the UK, the logistics company. So that is where after proper 2 years of non-tech experience, I was taught that, okay, let me pursue proper data analytics course. I, like you guys, I pursued a postgraduate program diploma in Chennai, and I properly for 1 year I took a training in data science, and I kind of started looking for interviews. I've been recruited, and throughout around me right now, I'm kind of 2.5 years of experience in data analytics core, and towards experience towards data, I'm kind of 3 years of experience. Okay, to overall 5 years of experience I go. And talking about my current work experience, I'm leading a business intelligence team right towards a company called Prudent. I work for that. It's a MNC company, which the main office located in the Dallas, Texas, and offshore it's in Hyderabad, your high-tech city only. So I'm leading a business intelligence team over there. When I mean my business intelligence, can you someone tell me what's business intelligence? What is business intelligence? Can someone tell me about it? Just whatever pops in your mind. Okay, next.
Forecasting.
Forecasting, great. Next.
Generate insight from the data.
Exactly. Whichever helps us to make a decision making, whichever helps is the process of decision making is business intelligence. At the end of the day, what you guys are working for, what analysis you're working for, what's the data you're guys for. End of the day, everything's going to be some business decision, right? Someone's going to make a decision, and for them, you're going to analyze the data. You're going to get insights. And if we talk about proper business intelligence, it always deals around with the Power BI, Tableau, most of the visualization, but the proper business intelligence, to put it in layman terms, that whichever process which makes us to for decision making is a business intelligence. Okay, so I kind of lead a business intelligence team in the Prudent, and I'm also around the experience I've created, delivered our BA solutions, statistical approaches of machine learning models, and also heuristical approaches machine learning models. And also I'm kind of going through. I'm in the mid process of learning the Power Platform of Microsoft. Okay, so this is about me right now. And to tell about myself, why I like data analytics. I describe myself as a passionate storyteller. Okay, I always love stories. I like to pitch stories, and that's where if I see a data is nothing but something gives me story. If someone asks me why I like data analyst, why I like to be a data analyst, data scientist, it's like I'm a storyteller and I get a lot of stories from data. That's how I tell. It's not a proper tech form to tell, but I love data. I'm putting a data. I'm a storyteller. So whatever data you give me, I'm going to get the story and I'm going to pitch it to you. I'm going to tell the story to you. So that's how passionate storyteller I am from the data sense. And other thing about it is I'm a writer. I write novels. I publish books. It's about me, and I'm mentoring data aspirant students both in Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore. This is about brief of me. Okay. Any more thing which you like to know about any of the path or how did it crack? It's going to be followed. Any more questions as of now? Okay. Important practice of data analysis, and People over Zoom, you can stop me also whenever you want if you don't understand anything.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you share the screen now?
Isn't it shared?
No, no.
Well, you got it quite early. What about now?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay. Fine, right? Okay. Important practice of data analyst. If you find a data, okay, I'm giving you a data set, irrespective of wherever you're looking at it, is it in an Excel form or CSV? What's the first thing you would think about the data? What the first question pops in your data?
Copy.
Huh?
Copy.
Why copy?
We have to copy first now.
Okay.
In data sets, we'll think about what kind of data it is. Is it related or not?
Lot of raw information.
Sorry?
A lot of raw information.
Any other part?
Related.
Missing values.
Okay.
Valid or not? It is a healthcare or
Okay.
which biological data.
Okay. So when I'm first of all, I'm getting a data set. Okay. I'm opening an Excel or reading it in a Python, pandas, doing it in whatever. First, I understand what is the source of my data. Where am I reading it? Am I reading it through local Excel or CSV? Where is the data comes from? As a data analyst, you're not going to deal with the Excel and CSV anymore. Once you recruit it, no more Excel or CSV. That is not a best practices people will follow. For your own practices, you can do. Which data source you're getting connected to?
From the data from client.
Yeah, from client, obviously. So from the client itself, is what kind of a data for the client? What is the data source? How the data got accumulated? This is a question you should start asking. If I see data set, first I'll do is a data.shape, right? Everyone do a data.shape. Let's say 1,000 rows and 15 columns. 1,000 rows and 15 columns. That is my first info. Data.info and data.shape is the very first start I'll do it. It's going to give me, pandas going to give me what kind of data type of each and every columns are, and what's going to be my rows. Another function that tells me about my data. Can someone tell me?
Describe.
Yeah.
Info, data.
Describe info. These are three things I'll do. I'll get to understand the columns. Now I'll question back to it. Where am I reading this? Excel, CSV, no. Mostly databases. But does the data just store in databases? Just automatically store in databases? Where the data comes from actually? From client, which is the source of the client? Customers. What data I'm looking at it actually? Is it a customer data or is it a sales data of the company? First, I'll understand it because client normally in real world, client will give you a data and tell you they'll give you a problem statement. They will not tell the data specifics or the characteristics of the data. It's your job to understand the data first. And is it even I'll not stop. Is the data coming from database? Not. I have to see whether it's which cloud platform it's coming from. So in your real world, all your data is going to be stored either in a cloud platform or an on-premises server. Can someone tell me what is an on-premises server? Sorry?
It's a domain you're working for.
Okay.
Some particular company server, you use that data. So that data is.
Yeah. Anyone else? So what are the cloud solutions we have right now? Anyone familiar? Okay. What are the on-premises servers that's available? So there are three systems. Okay. Platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. Whenever you deal from the cloud, it's going to be service. And whenever it's on-premises, it's going to be a platform. You're going to have a database on-premises, physical databases on your on-premises system. Let's say this is a company, okay? and there's going to be a server room, and that's where all the data center is going to stay. This is a very important thing to know, because as a data analyst, you'll get the data. Okay. Very important thing. Where am I? Am I getting it from the cloud, or is it going to be on premises? While reading it, you may not feel it, you may not know, don't have to get to know this question. But going forward, while data scheduling, data update, data refresh, all these things I'll be coming back down. But for these questions, you have to know, is it coming from the cloud or is it coming from on-premises data? That's an important question. Okay. People who Zoom, this point is clear for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Next, the history of data, right? If I'm, what do you mean by history of data? Like, can someone tell me? Jordan,
So analyzing of the data from 5 years data,
sorry.
previous data.
Okay.
Like before year, what are the sales for the company? And now what are the sales?
Yeah. Okay. Anyone?
Hosting is like source and how it is generated, where it is stored, and like after storage, when we are reading it, like what to look for.
So more of the first and second point combined together, what I was talking. Okay. And if I were you, I would also think, what are the periods of data is collected? Is it data is for 10 years or 15 years or 1 year or 7 days of data? What is it? If it is 10,000 rows, is it for 10 years of data or 2 days of data? What is the period of the data that has been accounted for or recorded for? That's important to know. Okay. Next thing, understanding the data based on business requirement. As I started, everyone is like, recently I've been looking at an interview. Okay. 2 points. Film directors versus short film directors. What's the differences? Huh? Both are directors, right? If you have a camera, you take a film and you publish it on YouTube. Are you a director? You're also same as what the film directors are. Right? But what's the difference between them? So same thing, difference between aspirant data analyst versus the working data analyst. Okay? You get a data, you analyze it. You're already data analyst. You analyze it, you're gonna get an insights of it. Okay? In a sales data, if I'm understanding the customer, is it related? In a sales data, my point is to understand the customer and a customer characteristics. Is it related? Okay. If in my sales data, is my customer living or not? Is it existed or not? Is it related? Because we can get more how to get analysis, how to get more from. Apart from this, if I see that is the customer married or not, is the customer demographic, is everything is important. But not knowing anything related to it, not even related to it, if I see some other thing, just getting insights, it's not related for me data set. Understanding the business and working along to it. You have your freedom to go every corner of the data set. But for the business requirement, if it's 10 points of business requirement, first achieve the 10 points of the business requirement. There's something called BRD, Business Requirement Document. The client will give you. In a real world, the client will give you a business requirement document. Let's say I'm giving a problem statement in a hackathon. That's a BRD. You have to understand a problem statement top to bottom. And whenever you're looking at the data, first understand from the top to, based on a business requirement document. Then you can go from your fascination. You can go towards others, and you can spend time of the data, understand the data more. The more you understand the data, the more you're going to impress your client, your manager, and the more you're going to get rewarded according to it. That's from my experience, I'm telling you. Okay. ETL process. What's mean by ETL process? People over Zoom?
Extract, transform, and load.
Okay. Extract, transform, and load. Just a normal terminology. It is important for data analysts to know where the data has been extracted from, how the data has been transformed, and where it has been loaded. Okay, history of data. I was mentioning history of data, right? When I mean by extraction of data, I can just get the data by web scraping a website. Okay, or I can download the data. Anywhere which I'm getting a data, that's called extraction. And according to my solution problem statement, I have to definitely you guys have to make a transform a data. Even making a numerical column to object column or objective column to a numerical column, that's even a transformation, right? You're gonna transform a data, right? So that is transformations and load the data, which, as I told you, are you loading it in a cloud and getting it from the cloud, or are you loading it in on-premises, having a backups as on-prem or the cloud? So whichever it is, that ETL process is very important, you know. Next is the data or field specifics. Okay, as I told you, 1,000 rows, 15 columns, 1,000 or 15 columns. What's the next step? You got in 1,000 rows of 15 columns. What's the next step you will do?
Checking for
Okay. Okay.
or deleting them.
Null values.
Okay. Null values. Okay, next. Okay, when you mean 15 columns, you will just take a required column. Okay.
Segregate the data according to
Okay.
Type of data.
Okay. Okay. Let's say I have a cricket match. Okay. Cricket match data set. ODI match data set. Okay. I'm giving you two scenarios: customer data set and cricket match data set. Okay. So every cricket match gonna have a number or match ID. Okay. And every customer is gonna have an ID. Okay. Is customer ID and match ID are same? Okay, maybe or may not. Depends is the common answer everyone gives, right? Just go. Is a customer ID and a match ID are same? Mostly it won't be. No. Is the business requirement for customer ID and match ID are same?
No.
Okay. Customer ID we can drop, but match ID can we drop?
No.
Customer ID we have an option to drop, but match ID can we drop? We will not be able to drop. Because we at least we can address a customer at customer A, customer B, but we cannot address a customer India versus England. There's going to be multiple rows of India versus England. I'm not going to say that there's only one customer A, but we're going to get. But customer ID, we have most of the thing we have an option to get rid of it for cleaning the data for a model training purposes. But match ID, we're going to have it. Okay. So starting from the ID column, a lot of people will just ignore the ID column and leave. Based on a business requirement, even if an ID column makes sense, you guys have to have it. No getting rid of the ID column. That's the very first step. Next is that a lot of people were telling just null values, right? Yeah, null values. What is the next step after finding the percentages of null? What's the next step?
It depends on like how much null values we have in total, like in each column.
Okay, I got it. Null value done. Any other apart from null?
Outliers.
Okay. How do you find an outliers?
Have so many methods. IQR method.
Okay. Any famous method that you guys have worked on? Okay. First, what I'll do is that after getting a data set, I'll divide the numerical columns and the categorical columns. I will divide it first of all. What I'll do is that I'll run a histogram plot and a box plot for all the numerical columns. And for the categorical columns, I'll run a count plot. Are you guys aware of count plot? Right?
Yes.
If I do this exercise, what's going to give me?
For count plot, you will get like frequency of particular one category. And for box plot, like you will get outliers of the numeric data.
Okay. So I'm going to make it a loop, for loop. I'll make a for loop code ready for it. I'll run it. I'll see what are the columns that are going to cost me, which is vaguely distributed, not even a normal distributed. In real life data, you're going to see very rare of normal distributed data. Okay. It's like 0.5 or 1 or 2% in your real life data, you're going to witness a normally distributed data. It's more of there's no normal distributed data in real life data. Okay? What kind of distributions I'm going to have? If I plot a histogram, okay, histogram is like this, right? The bell curve, how much it's skewed, how much the tail is, how much the peak, what is the peak thickness, kurtosis level, skewness. Let's go and take it up. Okay. Next thing, as I told you, the box plot. How much the outlays are? Either my outlays are upper limit, upper is over, or lower is over. Box plot. Okay. And how am I going to treat it? This is where I'll be writing inferences. Okay. Out of 15 columns, 7 are numerical and 8 are categorical. And within the 7 numerical, there are 4 columns that are very outlier. We have a lot of outliers. How to deal with it? We have to come up with solution. I'm going to put it inside for me to go back over there. Categorical column. Okay. Categorical column, I'm going to see what are the top. I'm going to have to see all the things. Let's say what are the top categories or top 10 categories in a categorical column that frequents a lot. Okay, I'm going to put in a count plot. So by this, I have analyzed the data, data specifics, data characteristics done, history of data is done, and about the data, every individual field. It's like, what's the reason of putting a for loop for this exercise?
If there are 1,000 columns, then we can't perform each individual, right? For that reason, we will go for loop.
Exactly. I'm going to make a loop. So that's something called modularization of your code. The concept called if you can note it, you can guys can note it. Modularization. Okay. What is modularization? Something that reduces your effort to repeat it again and again and again. For 15 columns, I can make 15 times. Okay. As someone said, 1,000 columns, how am I going to put it out? I'm going to put a catch. If 1,000 columns, give me only for the skewness at higher range. Out of 1,000 columns, give me the skewness on higher range. I can modularize my code. I can limit my code, and it can reduce my time rate. Any questions on this? Modularization. Okay, what's the next? Another finding. Next type of finding. Missing is done. Outlier is done. Next thing.
And we need to impute those values with the finite value. How to impute that? Which value need to be imputed?
2 things. Were you being told to impute? As of now, were you being told to impute in the business requirements? You are a data analyst. I'm coming for data scientist part, okay? But you are a data analyst. Were you being told right away to impute it? Find a data characteristic, find a place which you've been told. You are a data analyst, come data scientist. But if you're just a data analyst, your role is going to be analyze it. But it's never going to be a part. You are also required to impute it part. But for that imputation, you have to get back to the client. Right away, you can't impute it. You have to get back to the client. This is the column. Even if you input 55% of null values, do you really want this column to happen? Client says, yes, I have to have this column. I cannot get rid of this column. What's the general rule? Anything which is more than 40% of null values, you're going to get rid of that column. That's what we have been practiced. If you go for any internet services, any online services, any of the things you've been told, that's a good practice. Because more than 40% of null values, if you're going to impute it, you're just manipulating the data, right? What you 50% of data you're manipulating it, which is not even true. For example, I am Jay Surya, I'm going with mean imputation. Other person going to mean an imputation. Someone comes, both of you guys are wrong. I'm going to with another point of imputation. So it depends, varies from data analyst to data analyst, right? So you're going to manipulate the data. But client says, no possible. I have to have this column. Figure out some way. That's what I'm paying you for. That's how the client will behave. So what's the point? You're going to request the client, sit with your team that how to get the data at least to the actual point. Do we have a way to get the data for this? Can we sit from the client data administrator? Do we have a way to get data for this? What is the reason that 45% or 50% null values are for? I understand the root cause. You found a missing value, but why the missing values are happening for that? Okay, let's say I have a column called I'm working on a data from the Google Forms. Okay, I'm working on data from Google Forms. 2,000 people have registered for a Google Form, submitted a Google Form. In a particular data set of the age, if the age column is not mandatory, people might not tell the age. Okay, that is the reason people know that this column has lot of null values. Point A. This is good. You want to discuss with your client. Understand the root cause. Why the data has have null values? What are the possibilities of data have null values? What are the possibilities of data having outliers? Huh? Yeah, exactly. But why wrong information? 100% going to be wrong information. Okay.
While entering the data with wrong information.
Okay.
Like while adding age or something to find a slight mistake.
I'm gonna go for a total marks column. Okay. You have a school data, you have a school set data set. You're gonna have a total marks column. Okay. All we are classmates. All we are classmates. All we are performing in a data set. Okay. All we are performing in exams. Every one of you have scored 90 plus. I didn't study. I got 28 marks. What am I? Is it a wrong information? Why? It's a real information. Can you find us outlier? It is outlier. Can you tell it's a wrong information? So it's not 100% that an outlier is a mistake. Never the case. Okay. 100% outlier is not a mistake. Now you have to take it to the client back. Okay, this is the outlier I have found. I might see multiple records like this. At least five records of 1,000 records. I'm going to find like this. Can I go forward by getting it this out, or do you also want me to have this? Okay. So now client going to say, okay, give me that 5 records to me. I'll really see what is this student really scored that much of low, or something has happened. You have given a client an exercise and client liked you. You made a client to think, you made a client to work. You've given something the client cannot find. Okay. I'm just giving an example, not just for marks, for any data set. You're gonna have a list on all your findings as a data analyst. From the data characteristics, you want to list all it, and you have to get back to the client and say, these are the analysis I found. I get into more deep. Now client says, okay, this is not a best. Even if you go more, you're gonna find more of dirty things only. Leave it. Let's go forward. That's a client's call. So data analyst, your job is to get more and more and more deeper with the data. Okay. So just this point I'm telling you, cleaning and treatment of the data is very important for data analysts. People always say that cleaning the data and treating the data is only for data scientists. Definitely not. Okay. Data analyst is the person who's going to analyze the data, how to clean the data, what makes the data better if you clean it, how to treat them. That if I'm a strictly data analyst, I don't want to associate with data scientist. I'll sit with my data scientist guy. I'll say this is the findings I have found, and I'm going what we can do with. If I'm a data analyst come data scientist, I can do it. If I'm a data scientist guy, I'll be mostly focused on the model training part. How my model going to improve from the data set cleaned and trained. But I'm not going to spend more time for the data analysis part, because you have to build a model that's going to take a lot of time. So it's a process of a data analyst and data scientist. So important for you to know how to clean the data. What are the measurements to clean the data, treat the data. Okay. People over Zoom, like any more deeper questions for this? Okay, I'll take it as next important by the data update, refresh and schedule. Okay, I got a data, 1,000 rows of data. I got it. Okay, is the 1,000 rows gonna be there forever? At least for next 2-3 months when you're working with it. Is the possibility of data getting updated?
Yes.
When? Why? How? These things. Okay, not what. When, why, and how. How the data gonna get updated? Is it someone's gonna get more records, or put it like it's Google Forms? Is it someone gonna send the forms to another 1,000 people, or someone already have a records? They're gonna put it out in the database. How? When? How my data gets updated? Every 30 minutes? Every 1 day? Every 2 days? Every 5 days? I have been working with the data set which been refreshed every 15 minutes. Okay, and something called real-time data. People always come with real-time data, but there's never a real-time data. At least there will be difference between 2 seconds or 3 seconds. The data gets updated. Is 2 seconds, 3 seconds real-time data, closer to real-time data, but it's not real-time data, right? Someone updates the data, some data gets updated, and for you to see, at least it takes 2 to 3 seconds for you to see. That's a real-time data thing comes from. So it's very important to know how the data gets updated, because you would write some insights for data analyst before past, okay, and you cannot make a statement that that's insights, that inference going to be same with the updated data, right? Can you make a statement for that? Okay, if something going to change, you guys have to be sure that these are the insights for the present data set. What am I going to? I should also be consider future data sets that you should consider with the client. Client will say that okay, we see that there's going to be some discrepancies there. Be ready for it. Whatever you guys are thinking in a flow, we have to be sharing with the clients real-time data sets. That's what I will do. Whatever data you're given as of now, I found this as insights. And when the future data comes, I'll prepare more for it. And should I just sit again for a data analysis part for a future updated data? Should I sit again for those things? Probably not, because I'm going to modularize my code. I'm going to put a pre-temp code that gives me, if you find anything that different from the past one, give me that. Highlight that for me. That will be highlighted for me. That way, I'm reducing my time, right? Modularization of code. Any more questions for this? Data updated data script. Okay, so let's say Azure. Okay, Azure SQL, database management, Power BI. These are 3 things you're working for, and their client is the sales guy. Is a sales company. Every day sales going to happen. Every day sales going to happen. Every day they want to have the sales report every day in the dashboard, the Power BI dashboard. Okay? So they have to make a point in the Azure SQL cloud. What is going to be a data refresh schedule? 30 minutes or 1 day. After the data gets updated 1 day from the Azure SQL database, at what time the data gets updated in the present database you guys have? Azure SQL is a cloud, and you're gonna on-premises data. What time is today? Is 30 minutes after the refresh over there? Is it gonna refresh here 30 minutes also? No. There's gonna be have some gap in time differences between these two. And when you refresh in Power BI, it's gonna take 30 minutes. Again. So 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 1.5 hours difference. Your sales yesterday, your yesterday sales, let's say you're logging at 9 a.m. your job. Yesterday's data you will be able to see at 10:45. That's what you want to do. Unless 10:45, you can't make a decision out of it. You have to make it 10:45. If client says it tomorrow, I need it by 10 a.m. You want to request him, can I have 45 minutes for 1 hour minutes, 1 hour more? Data get refreshes at 11 o'clock. Even it's their resources, they tend to forget it. It's your job, data analyst job, to understand, remember when the data gets updated. It's your go-to point. Have it in the mind. Any more questions?
Like how to generate a visual that is very, very close to the real time.
That's what. Okay, real time. When you mean the real time, what?
Very much close to real time.
Yeah, very much close. 15 minutes can be considered real time. 15 minutes. If you're gonna more than that, every 5 minutes on it, you're gonna cost a lot. The client it's gonna cost a lot for the client. It's very important for you guys to understand the pricing system of for the platforms, cloud, on-premises, and Power BI, like with data visualization. For you guys, very important for you to understand the pricing systems. For example, $10 per hour, $15 per hour. If a client can afford to it, let's say that client can take all. Let's go for 5 days. 5 days, $15 per hour, it's fine for me. But I can't spend $15 per hour every day for it. Client make a decision for it. Okay. So 15 minutes, 30 minutes is I'm putting a pointer. 30 minutes is you have a data updated in your data sets in 30 minutes. And when you refresh it, if it's on-premises one, it's gonna refresh immediately, right? It's not gonna have a delay. If it's a cloud, if like a Salesforce, have you guys heard of Salesforce? Salesforce is another platform that it's kind of a proper UI for a company to, like a CRM. Salesforce is CRM, customer relationship, ERP CRM, okay, where people get updates to data and from Salesforce it's going to take 30 minutes for the data to get updated in database. From database to visualization, it's going to take just a click of a button, right? Refresh it, you're going to get it out. Or you're going to schedule a refresh for every 30 minutes. 30 minutes get refreshed.
So there will be any scenario that the client says, take data from your own source, like he doesn't provide any data.
Yeah.
But he will say that take.
Okay. That's a good question. So if what you ask is that any scenario, the client's going to say that get the data by yourself. I don't have data, get the data by yourself. Okay. Recently, I'm working with a problem like that, where my client is from the is running a university in a private university in Chicago, US. Okay. He wants to compare the graduation rates of his university students versus the entire US students of a bachelor's. Okay. Now, where am I going to get the data? His data is going to give it to me. But for entire US data, is he going to have access for those things? Yes. But he approaches us to get the data. If I can access the public data, he can also access the public data. Right?
Those type of data is
Public. Sorry?
the data which you mentioned is usually public.
Yeah, public. It's very accessible to public. Okay, he can access the data, but he's giving me as you get the data yourself and get it. Okay, so what am I doing right now is web scraping the data from the website of a government website of US. I'm web scraping the data myself, transforming the data according to the extraction part, extracting data from the website, and every data set it's kind of 700 MB. It's not a data set; it's a database. For 5 years, I'm 700 MB, 700 MB, 700 MB. Imagine a part. And imagine how long it's going to take the data to download it. It takes at least 1.5 hours for me to download it. And I have to unzip the folders and get a data set. It's not a data set, it's a database, access database. After access the databases, I have to get a data set, transform it, and according to the client data set, and I have to perform visualizations. This is what the present I'm doing on. Imagine if I'm going to tell the client that 1.5 hours is going to take the data to download it. It's going to make something to reduce the time. I have to make something reduce the time. Like for example, Chrome. I'm working on a library called Chrome driver. I have to go for the latest version of Chrome driver, change it according to it. So 1.5 hours to download the data, make the entire pipeline to be ready, and get it apart. Start a data analyst. My job is not only for the data visualization, also to check the SQL database, also try to extract the data. Right? So that's a question for you. Am I answered? So there are some situations that clients gonna say that if there's a public data available, you get the data, you do with the part. Compare, get the data for me. If I'm a client, I'm gonna say that, okay, Mr. There's a data is available over there. I gave you a data link. You get the data and prepare a report for it and present it to me. That's where a client's going to say something. Yeah, you have to be ready for it anytime.
While dealing with data, what do you face more difficulty?
So more of a, for example, for me, if I told you US government recorded it, US government recorded. For me, our college system is very different. 3 years of UG, 2 years of PG. But for them, it's kind of different. They give a time of 6 years time, 150% of time. They have an option to complete their bachelor degrees in 6 years, and people try to complete in 4 years. But the expectation is to complete by 6 years. If I don't have someone to explain that to me, how would I know that?
You need to have domain knowledge.
Yeah, domain knowledge. Even if I go through the domain website, okay, 150% of normal time. What does it mean? A 150% of normal time. I can go and search, but I'll not be able to get exactly. I'll have straightly go either to my US counterpart, my company US, understand what is the system over there. He'll try to explain it to me. Or I'll go to the client part that, okay, can you explain it to me? What's the percentage? Is your students is also 150% of students, or is there any restrictions? You have to complete a degree by 4 years. Imagine 4 years of degree versus 6 years of degree. You're not comparing apples to apples. Okay. It's a very important, like it's a term, apples to apples, we have to compare. It's not apples versus orange. You have to always compare apples to apples. Okay.
Usually, whenever you graduate that year, right? Taking the list of the graduates that year.
Yeah.
The person who's taking time to graduate 6 years also graduate that year, and 4 years will also graduate.
Yeah.
It's a past.
You are engineering. I'm a commerce kid.
He doesn't tell you which.
Yeah. So they're gonna have a multiple programs in US. They're gonna have a multiple programs, bachelor program, community college program. So all these are different programs available over there. It's the right question. It's the same question I asked my client. I said, I have my students 4 years, 5 years graduate students. How am I going to compare it to 6 years of students? Same thing. He's going to say, go for community based, particular credits. 175, 150 credits is not possible to complete within 4 years. So you have to go to 5 or 6 years. So more questions, more knowledge. Answer to your question.
One small question regarding the previous topic of real-time data. So you said you'll get a problem statement. So will that be a part of that problem statement or the documentation provided by the client? Like how much real-time visuals they want?
See, you should expect that, but it's not guaranteed that you will be getting it. That BRD itself. You have to reach your client.
So in real-time problem statement, you will have business questions which need to be answered. Apart from that, business problems you will have. Apart from that, what else will be there in that?
So what's the objective of the solution? What are we trying to do? In BRD, you're asking about business requirement document. What are we trying to solve it? Okay, and what is the past actions taken for the present solution? Okay, and what the company is looking for. For example, they are looking for a documentation, looking for a Power BI dashboard or dashboard. They want to see, I need to see the records of 700 students. It's your job to how to make it more user experience, user interface of visually appealing for 700 students. It's your call. They have mentioned that they want to see records of 700 students. They want to see some metrics, graduation data of particular students, what years the students have completed. I'm just giving you an example, okay? It may vary from every data. So they're going to tell what they need to see and what are the data challenges they have. What are the data we have currently right now? According to client knowledge, they're going to tell. But it's not that whatever the challenges they are, is that only challenges we may face in data? No. We may face more challenges while performing a data analysis part.
So in real life, before doing anything, we need to ask client every time.
No, that's going to annoy them, right?
Yeah, that you said about outliers, about null values.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the preparation. I have my findings. Now tell me, does this finding match to your sense? Am I gonna is your data gonna outliers? Is your data gonna have outliers? I can't go and ask. It's my job to find whether outliers are not there or not.
Yeah, after once you are done with the findings.
Okay.
Before analysis, you have to ask
I'm gonna sit in a one call or detailed call. I'm gonna ask you these are the points I have. See, client's gonna get annoyed. Okay, the US people, according to their mental, they're gonna get annoyed. Okay, so if you ask multiple questions, it doesn't make sense for them. It makes sense for us in the data, but you have to put in a point that it does not annoy them. At the end of the day, the clients for you guys are working for. You have to make sure that client you not brag the point on point, precise and clear. I'm going to also come up the point that next is how to deal and approach a client. I'm going to tell those things also. That's very important. That's the reason I came to I want to put some knowledge for you guys how to deal the client. Okay? But before that, let's complete these things. So clear out the data update refreshing schedule.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Getting a story from data. What do you mean by getting a story from data?
Summary.
Exactly. Insights. I'm just kind of getting a story in Power Visualization. Getting a story, but how am I going to present the story to the client?
Visualization.
Okay. You can get the visuals from normal Matplotlib or a Seaborn or people. Scikit, or people mostly for the interactive, they go for the Plotly. Have you heard of Plotly? Plotly is another term where most of data analysts in real time they use. Because in Matplotlib and Seaborn, your data is not going to be interactive. Okay, but Plotly it's going to be interactive. You can also note it. Plotly is a website called the library called Plotly. And these are not Power BI and Tableau, right? Power BI and Tableau is mainly for data visualization, data analysis, data EDA part. Okay, it's mainly for that. But when I'm working in a Python, obviously I'm going to work in a Python or SQL part. Okay, when I'm running the queries in SQL, taking into Python for more data understanding purpose. If you want to visualize it, Matplot and Seaborn is the one I'm going to use it. More friendly. Plotly is something going to give me more very interactive way.
The part of the visualization.
In the part of visualization. If I plot a bar chart, every category I move my mouse, it's going to be very interactive for me.
I think mostly visualization tools to use real time.
Power BI.
Okay.
So people still going to have a debate, okay? Power BI or Tableau.
Yes.
For the last 4 years, Power BI has been a market leader. Why? Because it's a Microsoft product. Most of the people, even us, we kind of go towards Microsoft, right? Microsoft is the best guys, right? Like we always depend on Microsoft products. We cannot live without the Microsoft products, can we? We can't. So my Power BI, and also giving you more reason, I'm going to differentiate this, okay? Building a visuals is easy in Tableau than building a visuals in easy in Power BI. In Tableau, you guys can build the visuals easily. You guys have to drop it, put it out, proper thing. Power BI is going to take a little bit for formatting your visualizations. It's going to take your time. You have to understand clearly. But having an interactive dashboard and publishing it into a service cloud, Power BI is best. That's the reason people prefer Power BI. That's most of the Microsoft inbuilt functions are available in Power BI. And that's the reason people prefer Power BI, and it's a market leader for last 4 years. And remind you, Tableau is also a second market leader for last 5 years. Tableau is not something that's very less. Tableau is a very powerful tool for creating visualizations and making a storytelling. But when you take it to a cloud, people still feel that it's kind of an old-fashioned thing. People still feel that old Power BI. But Power BI is going to give me a lot of options then and there. And creating embedding a website from a Power BI dashboard is easy than embedding a website from a Tableau dashboard. Okay, so Power BI is almost an important thing. My entire last 1 year I've been working in Power BI. I'm creating visuals, working in the Power BI. My every day goes around the Power BI and SQL. There's not even been data in a work day. I never touched a Power BI. I'm gonna work in Power BI everywhere. That's one of the business intelligence, right? So even when you guys start as a data analyst, SQL, Excel is very important. Python is very important. Data visualization, either of two. I would say try learning both Power BI and Tableau. Be expert in one. If you are expert in one, if for example I'm a Power BI guy, my client is approaching me for Tableau. If I know the visualization concepts, I can also replicate the same thing in Tableau, right? For example, I'm giving an example, okay? I'm giving you 2 columns, categorical column and numerical column. How would you plot it? I'm giving you 2 columns. Sorry? Be loud. Bar plot. Okay, bar graphs. Next thing. Okay. People who are Zoom, can you answer this? Go on. Okay, over here. I'm giving you 2 columns. Bar plot, bar graph is another thing. Next point. Any other plot? Okay. There are rules for visualization. That's not rules. It's a best practice for visualization. Okay. If I have a categorical column and numeric column, I can go for bar plot. A count plot, all these things. Bar, stacked bar chart. Okay, line and column bar chart, clustered chart. All these you're gonna see. If I'm something dealing with trend, year wise, date wise, That's where I'm going to go for line chart and area chart. Okay. If I want to see the proportion, what do you mean by proportion?
The total
Ratio.
Ratio percentages. What chart I'm going to use? Okay. So there are rules for all these things, or better way, not a rules, but better practices to present in a better way. That's very important to know. If I know these basic things, Power BI or Tableau, I can use both ways. It's just how I could enhance it. That's the thing. And once you come into once you've been recruited, let's say 100% you are a Power BI guy or a Power BI SQL Excel thing you can deal with as a data analyst part, then you can think about how to improve your designing skills. Base is just to understand what are visualization best practices. Every data analyst visualizations are very important.
Does the companies recruit a person who knows only visualization?
Visualization is going to help you apart. If you're a data analyst, if you don't know the visualization, people are not gonna. If you are very good in SQL, if you're very good in Excel, very good in Python, someone is very good in and you're not aware of any visualization tool. Someone is intermediate of all things and very good in SQL and Power BI, they're gonna go for that way.
Only visualization. Can they?
See, let's say I'm working in Power BI. Without SQL, I cannot work with Power BI.
No, like if you both are working in the same company where you deal with SQL and other things, and you will give me the data to visualize. I will do the visualization. Does it work for a company or?
It works, but if it works, I'm not going to tell it's not work. Like, for example, I prepare a data set, I give it my junior who's going to work it for the.
Does company force to data analysts like you to do visualization?
Yeah, they expect, they're not forced, they expect you to do. It's just my part is just to SQL and I'm not going to visualize anything. That's not going to work. It's all, they expect you to come up reports. If you are the guy who's very good SQL, you built a very good queries, got everything, and you are not a presenting one, what's the benefit for you? I'm gonna deal with the guy who's gonna prepare a dashboard. I'm gonna talk to him. You are expected to come up with the report findings. Very important to understand visualization. And it's not for data analysts, even for data scientists. Even I'm working as a data scientist. Even I'm required to know the visualization concepts, and that's where I'm a lot of a BI guy right now. Okay. Like statistical insights and inference. So what is meant by statistical insights and inference? Huh?
Information.
Okay. Statistical base. Does data analyst required to know the statistics?
Yes.
In which extent? Huh? Average. So categories, okay? Central tendencies. You would have central tendencies, right? Mean, need, and mode. Dispersion, what are dispersions? Measure dispersions.
like how
I'll come to that. Dispersions.
how far away, how scattered the data is here getting sorted.
Yeah. Standard deviation, variance. Relationship between one column to another column. What are the things you do? Correlation. Covariance. Okay. What's the range of covariance, if I can ask you? Huh? Covariance range. This is the interview question. I'm telling you. If I'm interviewing someone, I'm going to ask what is the range of covariance. Tell me. No? Below. Minus infinity to plus infinity. Covariance gonna tell you on which side it's gonna go. If you want to understand how strong the relationship, what will you go for? Correlation. -1 to +1. And next question is that what probability? What's the range of probability? Probability, range of probability.
Zero to one.
Huh?
0 to 1.
0 to 1. So when I was interviewing, I got a question that my probability value is 3.2 for this sampling distribution. How are you going to deal with this? I was like, wait, probability value 3.2? So either I'm going to wrong or you are talking a different thing. It's like you have to have a thinking like that. interview is going to have a trick questions like that. My probability was 3.2. Now tell me. First question says, according to me, the probability range is 0 to 1. That's what I've been known for. You have to put forward to the interviewer. Okay. They're definitely going to have a kind of different tricky questions for you guys. If I'm an interviewer, I'll start with 10. My probability is 3.2. What will do for you? It's for you understanding that how confident you are with your knowledge. Next, apart from after the probability, after what are the things you aware of? What's the other thing you have to do? Statistical ways. Population, sample. Very important topic, right? Population, sample. Whatever data you're getting it, can you assume it as a population? Whatever data you're getting it. Let's say I got 1 lakh rows. Your hackathon, which I gave it to you guys. Okay, putting a point. Okay, your hackathon, which it's just a sample of it. The real data set consists of 7 lakh rows. I couldn't even zip it and give it to you guys in my local systems. So it's gonna take, even a zipped version cost me 100 MB. So you have to always ask the question: is this a population or is it sample data? To ask to your clients. Okay, if it is population, get the samples, random sampling, important sampling techniques. You guys have to know what are the sampling techniques. What are the sampling techniques are available?
Like it should be random. Sample should always be random.
Okay, that's the best one. Get to know for others also. There's something called central limit theorem. Someone knows of it? Explore this topic, central limit theorem. I don't want to give a different new terminologies to you guys and kind of verify you guys, but understand this topic, central limit theorem. Okay. What central limit theorem is? I'll just explain in two lines. Okay. Irrespective of your population distribution, your sample distribution is going to be only normal distributed. Let's say my population distribution is not even normal distributed, but I take 50 samples. If I plot it out, it's going to be normally distributed. That's called central limit theorem. That's a theorem proved. So search for this. Okay, go over and search for this central limit theorem. Next is that.
One like small question. You like gave an example like of the central limit theorem. So the sample which is used, so that will be
random sampling.
Random sample, but like how okay there.
So two things. Are you choosing repeat is equal to true or false? Repeat is equal to true or false. While you're writing a code to get a sample, is the repeat is equal to true or false? If it's a false, out of 1000 rows, if you put a 50, out of 50 rows, if you put a 50, it's going to take all the 50. But out of 50, if you're going to put repeat is equal to true, one data can be picked 50 times, right? They're going to have more duplicates. But that's what you want to do in random sampling. That's a technique in random sampling. So plot it and you will see a normal distribution. That's how the random tag works. It's an example of random sampling technique. Next is what are other things? Important part I'm looking for, statistical one, which is very important for data analysts to do.
The statistics shows us the increment or insights.
Insights, yes. Increment, decrement based on insights. Hypothesis testing, which you guys have not thought of it. Light out. What is hypothesis testing? Okay, if I'm being sued, by someone in court, I'm claiming that I'm a good guy. The hypothesis testing is that to check whether I'm a good guy or not. If in your data, the data is being claimed as a laptop cost of 80,000 rupees, and which is scenario is being given to you, are you gonna, with the hypothesis testing, whatever claim, whether claim is true or false, that's what you're gonna put. These are some advanced topic, but you definitely need to know for interview questions. For example, someone's gonna come up with no idea of hypothesis testing. If I am coming with hypothesis testing, company gonna recruit me because they don't have to train him for hypothesis testing, right? For general, just know what the knowledges are for hypothesis testing, central limit theorem. In hypothesis testing, you have z-test, t-test, ANOVA. It's gonna be different. Z-test, t-test, ANOVA, analysis of variance. It's gonna be different things. But at least get to know the concept for this. No one gonna ask you to perform analysis variance without giving a data set. But in interview, they're gonna ask what is ANOVA, what is z-test, t-test. Be prepared for all these things. As after all your Python skills, if you're expert in Python, SQL in expert in SQL, expert in Excel, expert in visualization tool, it's good to also have known for these topics also. Okay. I'm done with the practice for this. Any important questions for this? Any questions? Anything pops in your mind? Or does it just tell me? I'm going my phone. Does it make sense? Does it being useful for you guys, knowledgeable for you guys to get to know, understand all these things? Or is it kind of too advanced topic I'm talking about? Yeah.
Like this is the like normal workflow. Like if you are getting a project, like so these are the steps which are like performed.
Yeah, exactly. Any questions on this, please? People over Zoom, any questions on this?
Sir, any future scope of data analyst or scientist in India? What was the scope? I mean,
what do you mean with scope? Can you elaborate this?
I mean the importance of the data analyst.
Got it. We are a data driven, right? Any business you take, any startups you take, any present decision making you take, right from the RBI to a normal startup, data is important, right? Data is very important. You're gonna analyze your data. You're gonna make decisions with the data. And if you ask me, data more than a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer is booming right now. Because to get the data engineers are people who can do it right now. So data engineers are booming. You get the data. What with the amount of data analysts have to be placed in recruited in a company. And that's the reason I'm telling you is that the scope of data analysts improves only if you get to know all the concepts of data analysis. If I'm very good in SQL, probably SQL and Python, if I don't know the visualization tool, I'm not going to be placed as a better data analyst. I'm bound to know for data analyst right now. I'm bound to know how to treat the data. I'm bound to know at least how the data scientist works for me. Only then I'll be recruited because the market competition is like that. I take interviews, at least 3 interviews every day for the intern role I'm talking about. Okay, data science intern role I'm talking about. The market is tough. I'm at least taking 3 rows, three interviews per day. People are coming out, they're putting it. I know NLP, I know machine learning. By looking at a resume, I'll go for them. But if you check the skills, they don't know nothing. They just put a resume thing. For resume sake, they put it out thing. So exactly what you know, put out through it. Because I take questions only from resume and from what you answer. The scope is very important right now because putting a more the recession is going on right now. Okay, when I mean a recession, the inflation in US market is going a lot because of the layoffs is happening. You guys could have the layoffs is happening, but also remember the amount of layoffs is happening. The amount of hiring is also happening. At the end of the day, you are working for a US companies. Any startups you go, 50% of companies are working for US companies. The clients are US because that's what the money are coming a lot. It's going to be very few companies. They're going to focus Indian customers or UK customers, Singapore customers, right? It's going to US customers. The scope is a lot, but also the competition is also a lot. It's like how you differentiate from another one. That's called scope. When I had a banking experience, logistic experience. Was having 2.5 or 3 years experience, but I've been considered as a fresher here when I went for data analytics. My past experience doesn't matter. It didn't consider because I was data analyst. I'm not from a tech or sort of thing, but I had a passion towards data. The interviewer saw on me, and I've been recruited. It's how you portray your confidence to the interview. Okay, everything starts with how you network yourself in LinkedIn. Have your better connections. Okay, for example, you're gonna reach me. Hi Jay Surya, so in my LinkedIn, hi Jay Surya. I hope you're doing well. We met during the CEDLEARN of Hackathon. I'd like to be connected with you. And you're gonna send your resume. I'm gonna send it resume to the recruiter very soon. Then someone randomly approaches me. So market yourself very much on LinkedIn. Everything starts in the resume. Does it answer your question, or you want more details of it?
Yes, it's fine.
So I'm sorry for taking more time, but this is a slide I'll talk in very detail to close it out. Preparation, as I told you, findings and preparations. Okay, how to approach or deal with the client. Okay, you have to go with the proper preparation of questions. I can't go without any preparation, on call, find something and ask. List down your questions and go. It's like how you work on hackathon. Hackathon, I'm giving you questions, you prepare it and you go on and work it. List down your questions, list down your findings. Okay, and before reaching to the client, be resourceful enough. Research your topics, understand the topics, and go for a client. If I'm going to tell my client that this point is not clear, Google yourself. Can't you Google yourself? That's how the client's thought can be. If you're coming up with something that should I treat this data? If you can treat this, why are you asking me? That's how some clients gonna answer to it. So research yourself, understand your data, research yourself before going to a client. Okay, and that point of what you want, detailed way of what you want, and what you're looking at it, and what you want to explain it clearly. Be very precise. Okay. Something called under promise and over delivery. What's under promise and over delivery?
Don't promise much initially, but like the result should be like better than what they are expecting.
If the hackathon is for, you think that you can complete the hackathon is for 1 hour, but don't put a point that I can complete in 1 hour. Give 2 hours and complete in 1 hour. Under promise, over delivery. The client's gonna like you. Next time they definitely get back to you guys. Even it's not applicable for a client, for your management, for your supervisor, for your direct senior. Senior is giving you a task, analyze this data, getting to me. What time you need? You're gonna say 2 days, but you know it's job of 1 day. Give 2 days and get back to it. But if someone's ready to do it in 1 day, give it ready. Be aware of that also. Okay, it's 1 day task you do. I'm going to give you better thing, but someone is going to be ready in 1 day. It's like they're going to go over there. There are situations like it. Okay. Next is updates. Always give a constant updates. Be in touch with the client. Update the clients what's happening. Update your manager. It's like I'll be working in a flow. I have while starting as a career, I also experienced that I've been given a task. I'll be working a lot, but I never update what am I working. For my manager, for my senior, it's like this guy is not reporting at all. Then I understood that the power of updating. Okay, I've gone through like this. I'm gonna take some break and understand what's gonna happen. Update a lot. What's your process? But not for every half an hour. Yeah, I'm done with this. But update in a regular interval. Okay. Understanding the business case. At the end of the day, it's like without knowing any business requirement, any understanding the business, if you're gonna put some points, no one is gonna listen to you. Literally, no one's gonna listen to you. Okay? Understanding your business is very, 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 very important. The more you understand the business, the client's gonna get impressed a lot. Even your manager is gonna impress a lot. So if you take a project from a client, the project time is just 4 months, 5 months. It's never the case. They may restart the project again, and they can come back to you, demanding that I want this person only because he was good at casting. These are the things I've given you the specifics, generics. Now you have, I'm done with the presentation. Now we have any more specific questions that you want to ask from your learnings. Open for QA. People over Zoom, you can also pause this for any specific learning or important questions you have in mind for me to ask in industry.
We are working on a business problem that is related to something field like logistics. You want to know domain knowledge? You want to know clearly domain knowledge.
At least basic research is needed. If I'm working on a sales, just knowing a sales is not enough. What sales? What are the regions that sales are happening? And what's the general sales of this in a general market? Without knowing this point, I can't perform right. If for logistics, I have to know whether the containment is from shipping or air. That's all you need to know. At what cargo, what is the weight of the cargo, what is the price of the cargo. If I go very detailed, you're not going to solve a data analysis, but you're going to be a client over there.
Minimal knowledge.
Minimum knowledge is important. Any specific questions?
Hi, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. You can call me.
My name is Atul. Hello.
Yeah, you can call me Surya.
Hello.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir, can I speak? Sir, how do you keep up with the rapidly evolving tools and techniques in data science? I mean, what resources do you recommend for continuous learning?
Okay. LinkedIn, start with the LinkedIn. Medium. Okay. LinkedIn and Medium. For example, in Power BI, there's going to come out a new update of the Power BI. I'll be bookmarking my Power BI actual source, official documentation, website of Power BI. I'll be reading updates to it. I'll follow mostly of data analysts, data scientists in my LinkedIn. So if I pop up my LinkedIn, I'm going to get a lot of updates that people have completed Microsoft Power Platform certification with the A grade. I got to know there's a Power Platform. I get to know about it. Then I research about it in Medium. Are you aware of Medium? You know what is Medium? Okay, this is Medium. Nothing but a blog site, okay? Bloggers, okay? People put the latest works. People like aspiring data science analysts, what they'll do is that they'll write a code, publish it in GitHub. You guys are aware of GitHub, right? They'll publish a code, they'll repo on GitHub. I'll take a snippets of it and they'll write in a Medium what solution they have approached for this. Okay, what problem they have approached for this. I'll give a details. Someone like me, if I see that you have a Medium website, okay, this guy has a Medium website. I'll try to go to a Medium profile. The amount of knowledge you have, I can see it from Medium itself.
If do recruiters look for like candidates over here also?
They don't spend time on that. LinkedIn, yes. See, any recruiter, for them to get a candidate for an interview, that's a job. I deal with a recruiter, okay? Irrespective of business knowledge, the recruiters just send me the if the candidate has a good communication skills, good logical thinking, and good permutation combination skills. That's the thing.
But before that, how does a recruiter looks at like for certifications or to shortlist the
certifications? Yes. If you're very active on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a very powerful tool, guys. For example, you and I are competing in the same market. Okay. If my LinkedIn is not even active, if your LinkedIn is active, you are putting a lot of posts about your tech skills, not just Facebook check-in status, nothing like that. Okay. But your proper skills. Today, I've approached a data set. I've kind of come up with a difficult solution into an easy one, and I built a dashboard with this. What you'll do is your connection likes it. Any one of your connections is going to work in a company. Recruiter is going to aware of it. I landed my job like that in LinkedIn. I was very active in LinkedIn, starting for posting multiple things, and recruiter approached me in LinkedIn. That's how it's gonna be. If you're very active on LinkedIn, you don't have to go to recruiters. Recruiters are gonna come to you. And people are somewhere. It's like if I see an interesting post, I'll follow the person. Doesn't matter if it's a fresher or looking for a job. Follow for this person. And if he something's open for an opportunity, open for a job, I'll try to drag him for my company. I'll try to do it actually because he's very resourceful, very knowledgeable. I'm connected with him LinkedIn. Why should I go somewhere for else? I know him very well. Networking, simple. And for example, this is a blog I wrote it like April 24. Power of like how do you exploring your data EDA. Like I've written a proper thing of it. So this is how it's gonna break. I've written a proper detailed way. And whenever you guys free, you can take it out. Okay, you can see it. I'm gonna share the link also. So start exploring Medium. Someone asking how am I keeping up with the text and updated, right? LinkedIn, YouTube, Medium, and official sites. Power BI official, Tableau official, and talking to my colleagues, right? If I'm a Power BI guy, if another guy from PySpark or Big Data, Hadoop, someone gets talking, I'll just go to watch something is happening towards it. He says that Hadoop is not getting updated. If someone asks me Power BI is the latest update of Power BI is not good, man. I missed the old update. What's the difference between old update and new update? The old color theme has been changed. The menu of settings have been changed. I'll get to know what's something happening in real market rate. Any more questions? You have asked me.
What are the tools are you using in your organization construction?
Sorry?
What are the tools are you using in your organization?
So I work for Prudent. Okay. I work for a company called Prudent. Here we have a data services team. And we stack around for data engineering. Data engineering, I'm telling about most of the cloud. Azure, AWS, GCP. All three we kind of have a resources purpose. Next is that also SQL database administrator, proper SQL purpose. Data visual, I come up with data API, Power BI, Tableau, data visualizations, BI team, and proper data scientist, AIML, PySpark, Databricks, Python.
Azure?
Yeah, that's cloud. Azure, AWS, GCP.
And what tools do you use like for data analyst and data scientist?
Python is same. SQL is same. See, a tool in the sense of I'm talking about languages. Okay, Python, SQL is definitely same. Power BI, Tableau, as I told you, Excel. And next part is that data science is going to take it to the next level of model training, putting in Databricks. Data analyst will not do it. That's the difference. Data analyst will not go for a Databricks point because he is not required to put a model training. If he's a data analyst come data scientist, he will go for Databricks. Any other points?
What industry or domain do you think have the most untapped potential for data science applications?
Well, I'm not very clear of the question. Can you repeat it?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
So, what industry or domain do you think have the most untapped potential for data science application?
Finances or something. See, I work in a consulting company. Okay. The advantage of consulting companies is that I work with multiple domains and multiple businesses right now. If you're being a data scientist in a product-based company, you're gonna stick with one domain. Pharma is something is booming with the data scientist, data analyst. Irrespective of how many applications, pharma needs a lot of people. And if you're being in proper fintech company, they need a lot of people over there. Yeah, pharma and fintech are going on insurance companies. The finance company is going to have a lot of them. But if you're getting based on service consulting company, you're going to work in multiple domains. I work in 7 domains right now. Logistics, okay, education, business education. Like that, I work in multiple 7 domains right as of now in the present company I'm talking about. Construction in US, don't believe. Constructions are a company they're planning to change everything, make it data strategy wise. That's how the data power is going to have in construction industry in US. You are asking.
There is a data set. There are 15 rows and 25 columns.
Okay.
And 25 columns. I think 10 columns are numerical data.
Okay.
We have to find out. The question is find the missing value and outliers. And that's 10 columns in numerical data. All the 10 columns have outliers.
Okay.
So we have to find each column.
Yeah. That's what I told you, right? Loop it. Create a for loop. I understand your point. 10 columns, should I do it multiple times? Do a loop. Visualize it. Do a loop for a box plot. Put a for loop on a box column and get a box plot. Understand what are the columns going a lot. Okay.
That will be the part of like EDA only. Right?
EDA.
And like if like Python, Power BI, Excel, all three can be used for it. Like, but which one is the best?
For creating the data.
Yeah, for EDA.
See, I always start with Excel, SQL, Power BI, Python. Python is a go-to for EDA parts. For treating the data, cleaning data, Python is the only best option we as of now we can use it for. Next thing is PySpark. PySpark is going to take the other next level of knowledge to work in PySpark. Okay. Python is an easy way to go for treating the data, cleaning data. I can also perform EDA in Power BI. Power Query Editor. I can easily perform EDA. The text cleaning part, delimiting the column, I can easily do it in Power BI. In SQL, I can manipulate the data in a way I want. But cleaning the data, treating the data, Python. Python, that has its power. Right? You cannot tell data analysts if you don't know Python. That's what people say. But mostly SQL and Excel, Power BI is enough for data analysts. But Python is a very important skill to know for data analysts.
What they expect from freshers?
Enthusiasm to learn. If you're enthusiastic, if you have a learning enthusiasm, that's a very important thing. And at least whatever you put in a resume, if you're able to put it out clearly, no murmurings around or no bragging or whatever. If you can answer it, you are into the race. Also, very important thing is how we perform an interview. You might be a very good skillful guy, but in interview, if not performing well, or some people expect you to look at the screen and answer, because in a world that a lot of people doing proxies and a lot of prompting is happening. So look at the screens, clear vision, and get to the point.
First 2 years you worked in the banking sector.
Yeah.
Which means you don't have any knowledge about Python.
No, I didn't have knowledge about Python, SQL.
So how do you face situation as you are from non-tech guy?
Yeah, so I am from a banking institution, banking logistics. In this company, so before coming here, I got to know about the course. I took a not 1 year, 6 months. 6 months is my self-learning phase, because over the 6 months I couldn't land a job because some companies were looking for only tech people, tech background. I've been in a situation there. I've been placed in a final round, but I've been put on a hold. That's a very important process. People like us, we are aspiring people. We try to attend for interviews, and we are very frustrated that okay, I'm not getting it. Why am I not getting it? But I stopped one point. I was talking to myself that am I really trying it? Applying 2 companies per day is not even going to get me anywhere. Applying 10 companies, 20 companies, 30 companies, how much ever. And for every company, you have to take a step and how to reach the recruiters, how to reach the HR of the companies, how to market yourself. If you apply for 10 under companies, 10 companies are going to call you back. That's the ratio you're going to have. Applying 1 company, expecting them to call, it's not going to happen. There have been a time that I was attending interview for 2 companies at the same time. 10 to 11 one interview, 11:30 12:30 another interview. That is for data analyst, this is for data scientist. But I have to be prepared for both the things, right? Be prepared for both the things.
So like if you are prepared for data scientist, like it is somewhat of an advanced version of data analyst. Analysts will like generally read the data of past and like like in the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like whatever the output of here like DA is, so will the data scientist work on that output, or he'll have his own process?
Mostly people like data science, they like to have their own process. They bound our own process. For example, I am a data analyst and a data scientist. Okay, just I don't want to, I don't want to differentiate it, because at the end of the day, everyone works with data. But let's say I have only skills of data analyst. I don't have a machine learning knowledge, everything at it. I come to you. You ask me for prepare the data, analyze it, and give me the characteristics, clean the data for me. I'll do. But you know, you are the one who's going to work in a model training. You are the one who's going to get the model better well. So you are the one who's going to do it again. But you can get insights from me. That's the thing. For a company like you, Uber, one of my friends works as a data analyst in the company Uber. Okay, and he mostly works in SQL. They need scenarios. I've been over a phone call with them. They want scenarios. What are these? What are the number of these scenarios happening in this area at what time? What are the number of cancellations at this city at what time? During festival time, what are the number of cancellations? What are the peak areas for this? Analyzing part, they based on what? Based on what? So one of the interview questions which I face, I'm going to give it to you guys. Okay, it's me. I'm standing in Hyderabad, high-tech city, right? How many Uber cars are going around? How many Uber cars are going around? This is the interview question you asked.
Depends on the bookings.
But I expected a number. Just give me approximate number.
100.
How do you come with the 100?
There are so many.
If I were you, what's the time right now? 11:30. This is Saturday. So most of the people who are coming to office going to be less. Probably less. I have to justify this answer. And I'm living in Hyderabad, in high-tech city. This is the place where people take cab a lot. Comparing to the old city. Am I right? If I'm in an old city, I will not be able to have to make for another inferences. But here, people just put Bangalore as an example. How many Uber cars are running in Bangalore right now? That's what people say. So have this logical skills around going for this. This is your first. Most of the companies in the big MNC companies, they come up with the aptitude questions, right? Aptitude is the first round. I hate that round, but still, that's the important round. You guys cannot negate that. Any questions?
They will look more for the knowledge or like the problem.
Problem skills, problem solving skills. I was preparing for CAT, trying for MBA. That CAT exercise gave me this also. I'm not going to tell that you prefer for CAT. I prepare for aptitudes. Be ready with the normal logical thinking. Debug. There's something called error handling and debugging. You are working and you got an error. It's none of the data scientists going to admit that they never got an error. Everyone will get an error. Okay. It's 7 months. I didn't work for Python very much. Okay. If I'm going back, I'm bound to get an error. How am I handling that error? Error handling and debugging skills is very important. Even in an interview, if you get an error, don't just try to rerun the code again and again and again. Understand what's error, what type of error, indentation error, type error, key value error, what's in kind of error. Okay, I'm getting a indentation error. Somewhere you missed a space again over there. Just check it out. Debugging skills is very important. If you're not able to get an output of the code, but if debugging skills is important, that gives you a positive for the interviewer, right? Any questions?
How does AI affect the how does AI affect the data?
This is a repeated question. How does AI affects the job recruitment or what?
There are many websites that helps to run the query.
See,
of
data
SQL.
analyst doesn't have to worry about AI. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Okay, even what I'm doing. At the end of the day, we're dealing with humans. Our clients are humans. Okay, at the end of the day, we're dealing with the clients. I'm going to give my data set to AI. Let's say I'm going to give my data set to AI. I'm just going to put some predefined values that give me insights for this. Give me insights for this. It's just going to give me a code. Or in this case, that websites like h2o.ai, some website that is going to give you insights, inferences. People never going to judge that unless it's going to be human certified, human approved. My client is a human. Okay, he's going to come up with different questions where every time I can't run with ChatGPT, every time I can't run with another AI website. Data analyst, it's what we kind of extract from the data, what we analyze from the data. None of AI can replace us. Definitely. There's some automation, some kind of automation AI can replace us. But it's very important to know how to use AI tools. People are looking for, companies looking for people who knows how to use AI. But definitely AI is not going to replace us very soon, at least the data analyst. At the end of the day, you are the one going to prepare insights for them. And you are the one going to justify it. If I cannot go and tell my AI to justify what's his insights, justify why I cannot counter back my questions. I can, but it doesn't make sense for me to for not a human to counter back, right? At least I can counter back for you. I can argue with you. Why have you done that? Can't you see this? I can argue with you. I can have a difference of opinion. AI going to tell what I'm going to tell. It's going to reflect back to me. Same opinion. I don't see that it's a threat for it. Unless until you are skillful, you're updated, you're resourceful. Okay, it's not happen in every company, right? Unless you are skillful, you're updated, everything is good. If you're not skillful, if you're not updating yourself, you are in a danger. Obviously, you have to be updated every time. Any other point?
Yeah, I got a few questions from YouTube. So his name is Krishna. So question is, currently I'm working as Power BI associate consultant, but I want to go further and explore the stack. What should I learn? And I want to know, is it good to add client project in resume?
Definitely. If in client project resume is definitely, but not mentioning the company name, I won't mention the company name. It's like project objective, project name, project objective, I'll put it out there. Client name, yes, I'll add it out, but at the end of the day, I'm going to put out a client's name. It's like I worked out 17 clients, 18 clients. I'm going to mention only top 3 projects of top 3 clients. That's the thing. And first question.
First question is, currently I'm working as a Power BI associate consultant, but now I want to go further and explore my stack. What should I learn?
Okay. If you're what I was saying is if the person's a Power BI already Power BI experienced.
Yeah, he's in,
Yeah. Okay. If you're already a Power BI experienced, what I would suggest is that understand the stack very much, explore it very well, but be expertise in one thing. I'm a BA guy. If I go out, I'm gonna pursue in business intelligence. Okay, but I also know the knowledge of Python and if I go out from this company to another company, based on any other reasons, I'm trying to be a consultant providing a solutions based on BI. But I should also have a knowledge of Python. I cannot work with being a senior person without how Python works. It's very important to know the full stack, but being expertise in one tech skills is very important for you guys. So in my company, people come towards me for a dashboard solutions, visualization solutions. Be that resourceful guy. I built a own MIS, I built a own timesheet report, the employee report for my company. People came forward for me to do that. I'm training Power BI for my students, or for my colleagues actually. Excuse me. I'm training my own colleagues for the Power BI or HR people. There's something called HR analyst, right? HR analyst, IT analyst. All these are analysts, but what things are you looking for? HR people, I'm training them to understand like how the Power BI works. For them to maintain a dashboard. Be expert in one thing, but learn all the stacks is very important. No limitations for learning, but being expert is very important.
Data analytics involve business decisions.
Charge it. Tell me.
While we generate insights from the data, does we involve in any business decision to make decisions?
No, see, as a fresher or as a less than a 1 year experience, 2 experience, you will, but most of the business decisions or the technical decisions will be decided by your manager. If I'm a manager, I'll just have you on a call, but I'll not be having opinion, but because you're a fresher. But if experience for after 1 year, 2 years, you will try to give me some because you are the one who's gonna work. I'm just gonna guide you. You're gonna work and get back to me. So not initially you will be in a business call, something like that. It's gonna take time, a lot of experience to be honest. Any point?
Sir, does DSA, I mean data structures, is equipped to acquire as an data scientist or analyst or no need?
BS?
DSA, sir. Data structures and algorithms, right?
Data success, right?
Yeah.
For the analyst, I would say no. For data scientist, very much yes. But see, what are the type of data structures you can ask? Linked trees, stacked queues, arrays. Okay, it's gonna tell at least knowing the knowledge of it. And if I tell you there's something called what is the difference of sorting algorithm, searching algorithm? Something called sorting algorithms and searching algorithms. These are the questions mostly for data scientists because they're going to deal with algorithms a lot. Data structures, they're going to deal with a lot. For data analysts, good to know, but not required because at the end of the day, you're going to put in a Python code. But good to know. Anything which I say good to know because it's going to improve your chance to get recruited for a company. Improve your chance. Yeah.
But there is no specific importance, right? Just good to know, that's it. Or else it plays a role.
Yeah, good to know. See, two things, okay? I'm conducting an interview for data analyst and data scientist. Okay? I'm getting 5 applications. If I see a guy who's very good data analyst, who has a knowledge of data scientist also, I'll take him. I'll try to also put him on data scientist if he's interested.
While being a data analyst, you can go towards data science.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm telling.
So within the company itself, I'm recruited as a data analyst.
Okay.
After some months, I'm showing like a good sense of data science.
If you have a good sense of it, if you don't have, you have to start a training from scratch.
So I'm learning side by side. Suppose I'm learning internally side by side.
Definitely, you can be upgraded data scientist. See, people, there's a myth, okay? It's a myth that data scientist is the highest thing. Data analyst, yes, data scientist is the highest thing because the knowledge you have for data scientist is high. Understand, okay? But data analyst is a common for all. Being a data analyst counts for all. Okay? I work as a data scientist, but most of the real life problems are data engineering and visualizations. Okay? For last 7 months, I was working very less of data ML algorithm problems. Data engineering and data, even one of my friends works in Amazon, and she is a data scientist working for data engineering problems. After you're recruited, based on the situation, you will be told to work for different kind of roles. If you have a skills, if you don't have a skills, they will try to request you to upgrade yourself.
ML.
Sorry, tell me.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a data scientist, in the sense of the model building and all, how do you select algorithms? You are running every algorithm and check for the accuracy, or is there any way techniques to select a particular algorithm?
Sure, good question. See, there's no definite way, like a straight rule to go to a particular algorithm. It's gonna experiment and try out. Experiment, try out. For example, if it's a regression problem, I'll start with a linear regression. But if I see that my data is already kind of very much complicated, I'll randomly go for a random forest regressor or a decision tree regressor. Okay, but the amount of times that even a linear regression scores will not match for the random forest. It depends on data set. You have to try and experiment it out. That's why once you have a modelized code, let's say I have a pre-template modelized code which I'm ready for me. I'll just put my data set, my code's going to give me everything. So that I won't spend more time on it. Modularize your code. So, and answer straight towards the question, there's no proper way to tell that. You have to try it out and experiment and again and again and again. Only time is that you can have an assumption that, okay, the classification model only by binary classification, I can directly go for a logistic regression or more of a naive based NB classifier. Like that, you can take an assumption, but there's no rule for it actually.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, let him ask.
I just want to know how much of the neural networks is used for the data, the classification and
yeah. Neural networks, you are bound to know,
yes,
at least for theoretical knowledge. If you are a fresher, it's good to know neural networks and the dynamics. OpenCV, computer vision, OpenCV, it's good to know. I don't know. I'm a data scientist, but before applying for interest, I didn't know those things. Okay, I didn't know, but after coming to know, I start learning about LLM, large language models, and dynamics of LLM, from OpenCV and everything. But just to at least for terminologies, deep DL and deep learning and AI, it's good to know, but definitely not required for someone to get the data scientist fresher role. If you're very keen in ML, it's enough for you. And also, it's all deals about the company, right? If your company is the company you're applying for, it's a proper AI product company, you're bound to know. If you're a service-based company, if you're very good in ML, they're gonna pick you up.
You explained about like role of DA, like the skills required, the entire workflow. Can you like briefly tell same thing about like DS, like what?
Data science, okay. And whatever said is applicable for that, okay? What is applicable for? Next thing is that the treatment of the data. We have to divide the treatment of the data. Missing order treatment, same thing goes. Outliers treatment, same thing goes with that. And transformation, there's something called transformation. If your data is not distributed properly, try to get it for normal distribution as possible as very normal. So that's something called transformation, okay? Where we use power transform library, those things. Next is scaling the data.
Like you said, like if your data distribution is not normal, try to get it as normal as possible. Like then definitely it will change like the raw, like the data or the values, right?
Yeah. So I'm telling you, that's why we kind of scale the data. Transform data and scaling the data comes in a place. Okay? What is scaling? Let's say I have an income and age. Both are numerical columns. But can I compare income and age together? How? Why? How can I compare?
No, like, but it will also depend on other things.
Both are not target variable. Both are independent variable.
We have to consider the experience.
See, income starts at least for 30,000 base. Age maximum is 100. How can you compare? The model can get confused. Absolutely, model can get confused. So we're going to scale the data. There's different type of scaling. Whichever is like, we'll put a range for it, -3 to +3. Transform my data, scale my data into a range -3 to +3 or 0 to 1. I'm going to scale my data and put it for model training. So these are the pre-processing techniques where you need to know the data.
That scale data will be like just a sample from the.
No, it's a proper entire data. And splitting the data, model selection. So pre-processing the data, handling the data for trained data, test data, that ratio. Okay. Next is that how do you tune your model? Anyone can put a model. Linear regression, decision tree regressor, random forest regressor, XGBoost regressor. And for classification, if we talk about it, XGBoost, decision tree, random forest, anyone can come up with a thing. If your accuracy score is 80%, how to make it for 95%? How to tune your data? There's something called hyperparameter tuning, where you run a code to give you best parameters according to the data set. That you will take it as a final model. So these are important. how to handle tune the data. It's important thing to know. Next, how to deploy the data. You are data scientist, you got a research. What is the next step? Are you deploying it or are you visualizing it? Prepare the data according to it. Prediction is already done for you, data scientist. What's the next step of it?
Delivery.
Sorry?
Deliver the project, the solution.
Yeah. Tell me, you predicted something. You're just going to hand over data set to the as a delivery product?
No, no.
Report or a visualization. Visualization. Planting is a visualization, right? What you're building, your models, researchers are going to report it again. It's not, I got some model report output, chalo, take it out, keep it out, done, bye.
So when you're delivering as a Power BI, for example, if you're doing visualization using Power BI, so delivering as a Power BI file or something.
Yeah, report. Like for example, I worked with one of the classification machine learning problem, but I got the results and I visualized it in a Power BI, the results based on a category. Okay. Any other question?
Service-based company or product-based company? For data analyst and data scientist.
For data scientist, data analyst. See, I'm gonna put a generic answer. Okay? If I want to, starting with a service company is best thing because you want. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. You're gonna deal with a lot of domains, lot of problems, and you're gonna work with a lot of solutions. But when you get placed in a product-based company, you are set to it, and you are kind of proper guide product-based company. Every people starts in the service-based company and gets settled in a proper product-based company. Uber is a product or a service? If Uber is a product or service? It's a product. Uber has their own product. They are working for their own product. The company which I work for, it's a service. Yeah.
What kind of tools do you use in the EA rather than applied
There's a pre-open Wiz, there's something called SpeedWiz.
Does your organization provides any other tools rather than
Open for rather than
open source tools like an
no, it generally deals with that. Okay, with speed, something called speed. Yeah, we heard of SpeedWiz. Yeah, Speed is something that if I just give a data set, import them a library, Speed is going to give me all the visualized ED analysis. Speed is something very important.
So, any more questions? About BA and BS?
What is the scope of BA and BS in India? Everyone is looking into India.
Yeah, we are in India.
So, what is the scope of this BA?
See, competition is good. Okay. See, when I started as a commerce, I went to commerce because I'm not good in chemistry. I'm not good in maths. I'm not able to draw well. So I didn't pick biology. So commerce, something is I'm good in math, like I'm good in accountings and those things and all. Theoretically, I'm fine. I went to commerce. A lot of people who are in engineering, they have practical exposure of problem solving, right? We have a lot of competition for the market. If 1 lakh jobs are available, 2 lakh people are applying. It's like how UPSCs are opening right now. Only for 700 posts, 2 crore people are writing. But is the process going to stop? People are going to write or going to write it again. People are going to apply again. So how you get better and better and better is going to come out. When I start working, applied for jobs, people are going to say that you are a commerce guy, no tech experience, you're never going to get job. I faced few things, but I eventually landed a job. I was like 22 or 23, I was ready to switch my career. Now I'm 25, 3 years of data experience. I'm 25 years old, I'm 3 years of data experience. So I still a lot of weight. I'm just 25, I still a lot of things to do. I can still come back, learn something, with the financial knowledge I have, with the data skills I have, I can create my own product. That's how the data power I have. Any more?
You're asking about this. You told about the ML page. Can you tell me these are the ML algos?
Yeah, ML algos. What do you want to do exactly?
Just want to look brief about the
See, ML algorithms, right? We're talking about. You got the, as I told you, there is no proper rule or proper way to fix what algorithm you're gonna get it. Okay?
like a brute force.
Sorry?
Like a brute force. Brute force. I don't know. Can you spark the
Why Spark? I have not worked on it, so I'm not. So yeah, whatever asking about Spark technique, I have not worked on it. Data engineering, I have not worked on it. I can't comment something which I don't know. But what I think is that even if you are a data engineer, you are bound to know the big data tools. Hadoop, those things, Spark, those definitely. If you're talking about, I have a basic knowledge of data engineering, big data tools. Definitely, Hadoop is a bigger thing. Spark is even more better thing. And Databricks is now revolution. Databricks. I tried to do it something, but I couldn't complete it. Databricks something, and it's going to cost you a lot. Databricks.
Right. Everyone hope enjoyed this session, right? So how we are treating data and how we are treating data, how we are treating and how we are finding insight and how we are visualizing. So data science roles and data analyst roles, right? So this I want to discuss with you 5 minutes. Yeah. After that, we'll go with Hackathon.
Thanks, nice. Okay, so it was good. One thing I observed in him is he's very practical guy. Okay, best thing.
Sir, you're not audible.
After this program, first thing I'm going to do is improve Rajesh's skills. How to use Zoom and what else, Rajesh? Okay, moderating an event. That is my mic. No, give it. But it's also connected to HDMI, right? So you can go there. Where's the remote for that? You go to the cabin. Bottom, you'll find the remote. Okay. So, okay, yeah, I was saying that best thing is very practical, and say we keep on conducting these hackathons. So out of all, one of the best thing is like he's very practical and he's from non-technical background. Tech guys, we always think that tech guys have advantage on that, but looking at the engineers and all, so we have already 40 guys online and all this put together, 60 guys are listening to this. Okay, and each of them I know personally. Each of you I know personally. So most of the things, opportunities you lost, you did not ask him how we'll conduct a case study, how we'll solve a problem. You should have asked him. Okay, if you asked him, you would have explained it. Okay, so step-by-step approach. Okay, and the tools nowadays, DL. Okay, deep learning is coming into data science and into data analytics, like EDA is mentioned. You did not stress on that. So EDA, feature engineering, okay, selection of features. Nobody's sweating. It's all because not these guys are, or we are not capable of. the number of hours assigned for the projects are coming down. The competitive market. We need to design a model right in 2 days. Okay, that means I don't have liberty. 16 hours I need to deliver. So then what I will do? I will go for tools other than going with my own intuitions and all. Always these tools will keep coming. As I explained to you, these tools will keep coming, but you cannot take yourself out of that. The feature engineering tools and all, EDA tools, they will suggest something, but you should always be in there to see whether it is. So one of the concepts I worked on is explainable AI explainability, black box. AI is a black box. Okay, that's a big research we're doing and going on thing is like AI should be explainable. Okay, right now some of the events AI is not explainable. Okay, we want our government to be explainable, right? Whatever they're doing, we want to know. Like AI cannot be blindly giving a output and you will follow it. So until that is solved, until the cognitive AI and conscious AI comes into picture where it will explain like a human being what they're doing, your roles are already there. Okay, so good. And one more thing, I see in this presentation is like data. A lot of things are pointing out towards data work. Analysis is one part. Okay, good. And one more thing I want to show you guys is, did we not discuss all these things? Now only to my students. Did we not discuss about data? Okay. Did you not discuss about data types? Okay, primary, quality and all, data representation, measures of central tendency. One day we discussed about it, but when he asked, nobody answered. Why I'm pointing out this is, you guys, he got a story. You understand what he said is forgettable. He struggled for 6 months. He knocked 10 doors per day. You need to underline that. He was knocking 2 doors per day. Then he started knocking 10 doors per day. That is how he's adamant that you want to get into this field. You need to understand that. Okay, those people can only survive in the world of data science. Okay, we talked about measures of central tendency, we mean, median, mode, all these things. Then we talked about distributions, normal distributions, standard normal distributions. Why we standard normal distribution? What is z-score? Okay, what is the methods? Okay, IQR method is one. Okay, visualization method is one, and z-score method can be used both ways. Okay, he talked about skewness. We talked about skewness. We talked about kurtosis. Okay, regression. Before that, we talked about correlation, covariance, infinity to infinity, and the covariation changes as per the scale of the data. That's why we can't depend on covariance. What is variance? Why standard deviation? Why standard deviation has a square root? So that's what he was mentioning, right? You need to understand why is happening. Variance is there. Then why I need standard deviation? Okay, what is the squaring? Okay, why are you squaring? Tell me, anybody, why are you squaring when the variance?
To avoid
To avoid?
negativity.
No, I mean to avoid 0. Mean minus data point summation will be always 0. So to get non-negative values, we are going for. So this is the depth you need to understand. That's what he's saying, that learn it properly. We are having all those things, knowledge. Okay. I did not share my screen. Then I need to learn the skills. I'm depending too much on people. Somebody's scaring. I tried it. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Oh, good. Now I can. Yeah. Where is that? Good. Should I start again? No. Okay. Central tendency we talked about, and hypothesis. Did we not discuss about hypothesis? Frequency, cumulative frequency distribution. Why we call CFD? Why we call PF, probability density distribution? Okay, CFD. All those things we discussed. Then we talked about measures of dispersion. Okay, standard deviation. See, these things will make you. We talked about positioning, deciles, percentiles. Okay, all these things, quartiles. Okay, standardization. Why we standardize? So because if you don't learn this thing, you will become a push button operators. Okay, what is the difference between a mechanic and a mechanical engineer? That guy does better job than us, but he doesn't know why he's doing it. So you're always focusing on tools. What he's stressing on, understand data. He also mentioned that whenever there is a outliers, 40%, more than 40%, we involve clients. Just that I know imputing methods or predicting methods. I use KNN and all to predict. I can't do that. Okay, I need to involve. So where to? These are the questions you need to ask whenever a data scientist is in front of you. So because every data scientist or every data analyst has a approach. Tools and techniques I can teach, but approach will be different. A doctor surgery, two doctors will never do the surgery same. Even though they are working the same part. I taught you so many times. So whenever you find a data analyst, ask his or her approach. How do they come? Because approach we can't teach. Tools I can teach. Techniques we can teach. Clear? And this standardization. Hypothesis, null hypothesis. Okay? Alternate hypothesis. How you reject. Okay? Type 2 error, type 1 error. We talked about all those things. So then practicality is important. That means theoretical knowledge is good. So this is one of the reasons why many of you are landing, or not only you, many of the budding data analysts are not landing. Because they think that this course is normal course. He's talking about that, right? So much of experience, so much of expertise, so many of data sets you need to solve. When you keep on solving and everywhere you need to apply the entire knowledge. Okay, basics are important. If your basic is good, you can achieve. If not, you will be going right from a data scientist aspirant to become a data analyst, from a data analyst to a MIS engineer, or I don't know what is below that. Okay, so this, you're all students. Every other weekend, we conduct one more experts, we call them. They come there, they share here. So every time you need to get some motivation, right? Okay, some motivation. Some motivation is approach. Okay. So number of data sets you need to solve. And every time you solve, you try another way. Okay. As he's talking medium, reading a newspaper, I start from there. And he's talking about medium, and that was a paper, published papers. So medium is one way. LinkedIn, you have experts, big experts, they're publishing their findings. So you start reading and join the groups. Okay, data analytics group, data science groups, you need to join. And there's somebody, for whatever sake they publish, and you need to read, published papers, journal papers. There are journal papers in data science and data analytics. And deep learning, yeah, as you mentioned, if you're a data analyst, learn about machine learning. Okay, most of you did not complete feature engineering, but one thing, some of you completed feature engineering. Scaling. Okay, I always tell you, right? 2 1 rupee coins here, 1 5 rupee coin here. What will a child pick? 2 1 rupee coins. That is scaling. Why? They don't have concept of value, only quantity. So age, salary, he's giving that same age and salary. Salary will be 6 digit. Computer will think that 6 digit is more than 2 digit. So that is scaling. We discussed this. Transformation, logarithmic transformations. Okay, skewed data to normal distribution. We discussed a lot. Okay, we discussed about Canadian immigration policy, Japanese immigration policy. How this Canadians changed that skewed data to normal data by just improving immigration. And Japan is having other side. Is it positive skewed or negative skewed? Japan. So this is the basic. Negative skewed. Look at the tail, not the head. Okay, data is in the tail. Tails also very important. So 2-tail test. We discussed about single tail, 2-tail, T test, G test. What is T distribution? What is G distribution? What is ANOVA? Okay. We discussed all those things. So these things you need to master. Okay, at least as I mentioned, if you don't want to go into ANOVA and all those things, at least know what is ANOVA. Okay, independent test, paid test. Okay, all those things, at least you understand those headings, because it is not that you can do or not do. Every company will give you training, because once you join my organization, I will train you my methods. But data science will be data science, data analytics will be data analytics. Okay, all those things are very important. Okay, some distributions will have positive and some negative. Some distribution will not have positive, negative. Everything is positive. F distribution. Where is native in F distribution? Okay, we discussed about that. So whenever we talk about that, you guys, most of, not only you, most of you are tool oriented. When you go with tool oriented, you will become operators. Okay, any machine, you work like a tool operator. That means press this button and turn this wheel. You are a driver. You're not a mechanical engineer. So don't get tool oriented. That's what he was trying to mention to you, that you understand the data. What are the roles of a customer? What is the role of a, both of us are trying to solve the problem. Don't think that you are trying to solve the problem. It is in his interest or her interest to get the problem solved. We worked on that no-show event. So no two problems will be same. Okay, then we discussed about no-show for a hospital or no-show for a hospitality. Both are same. Bed occupancy, bed occupancy. But here it is a holiday. Here is a emergency. So then you need to discuss with client interaction. So whenever you get, I never spoke to you, but you got a nice data scientist and he's trying very practically, and you guys are unable to ask questions because you never read. Okay, so first learn the habit of reading. As he suggested, go with Medium, LinkedIn, every day 1 hour reading, you keep it, because you already have the knowledge unless you bring it. Okay, if I ask you a question which you never recollected, you cannot answer it. So when there's a recollection 10 times, you can answer that. Okay, distribution every day, cheat sheets, you all have cheat sheets. And whatever I told, all these things, say other distributions, Bernoulli's distribution. Okay, I told you these distributions are important, exponential distribution, it is exponential. So we discussed about this. So all those things, okay, real-time data analysis, what is different distributions, skewness, okay, and we talked about kurtosis. Okay, how do you measure kurtosis? Leptokurtic, platokurtic. You remember all these things? Platokurtic. That's it. Okay, and formulas for that. And we talked about moments of distribution. Why we go highest is kurtosis. Skewness is the second or the second highest. Then why we go with standard deviation or variance? We discussed about that. So these things you need to bring in the interview. And again, I always tell you that you need to make interview interesting for the interviewer. Because interviewer is also a person, right? He wants to work with the best employee. He is a data scientist. He knows about his qualities. If you present that I am going to be a prodigy, I am going to add a value to your organization. See, I'm bringing this to the table. I am raw, but I am something. You chisel me. So that means you need to bring something to the table. So that table they should understand, and always use technical words. Okay, technical words, then they will feel happy. Because of course I'm experienced guy, and you claim that to be 1 year experience. So why would I show my might on you? But I want to see what you are, where you break, where you fail, where you exceed, what are your strengths, what are weaknesses, so that I know how to train you, where to use you. Because I have 4 guys under me. So one guy is very good at data, one guy is good at EDA, feature engineering, model building. So I will decide. And one more thing is that this, after that you can learn each other. So he did not learn deep learning while he is pursuing core. But after joining, he pursued deep learning because that is where world is going. You like it or not, it's going there. Okay. So all these things as a student, you already spent 2 months into the course, 3 months into the course. So after spending 2-3 months, you can't be at this level. You can't be at this level. Okay. That is criminal wastage of resources. Our time, your money, my money, everyone's money. So, okay. So please focus on these things. Okay. Process, simple process. If I need to define how many steps I teach you to reach the model building, how many steps we have? Data science. How many steps? First step is loading a data. Okay. Second step, you find out, analyze the data. Okay. You understand the problem statement. As per the problem statement, whether data is sufficiency, data sufficiency. Okay. So 5 steps you can complete entire thing. So all you do is learn 5 steps. As a DA, you have only 4 steps because your exit will be towards insight generation. That could be a report. That could be a dashboard. So as a data scientist, you may go with model building. And I also told that I'm a data scientist doesn't mean that every day I keep on building models. Okay. Half my job will be as a DA role only. And every time, as he mentioned, first tool we all love to use is first tool, Excel. Who said that? Why you have to bring a machine gun to this small war? Excel. That means Excel we need to master first. Half the EDA you can do in Excel. Beautiful Excel. But as the data intensity is growing, big data, big concept, that's why we need bigger things. If not, world survived on Excel for donkey years. Okay, so if you learn Excel properly, maybe you'll end up in a MIS job, very low level, but after that you need to learn Power BI, which is very powerful. The name itself is Power BI, okay, business intelligence tool, and then Tableau depends on organization. That's why we learn Tableau also. Okay, it is choice. Everybody want to promote their own brand. Power BI, Microsoft want to promote Power BI, and Tableau want to promote Tableau, because once you learn it, you will use it. Okay, like that. So all these things, please, guys. Okay, some of you did not learn feature engineering yet, but regression. Do you think that there was data science always? Okay, even though it was invented, I mean, the coined term AI was coined in 1952 and all, but after the 90s it picked up. Why? Because three things were not there: computational power, okay, mathematical models, and the third important thing is data. Only transactional data was there. Only transactional data. Transactional data, how much it is? So thanks to internet and social media, now we have more unstructured data than structured data. That means before that we survived. We sent man to the moon, right? That means statistics. So the backbone, why I'm talking all this is the backbone for data analytics or data science is statistics. If you don't know inferential or descriptive statistics, you are not welcome into our world. Simple. Okay, I can't say that as a trainer. I can't say this, but you're not welcome into our world if you don't know statistics, because the backbone is statistics. Okay, that's what he used to. Every time we talk about, he's talking about tool and the process. Tool and the process. That thing you're missing. Tool you're remembering, but not how to use, when to use, where to use. You should not miss it. Okay, statistics, master it. Data always talks. You need to know how to listen to it. To listen to the data, statistics is the only way. I don't need Power BI. I don't need anything on a mathematical model. How many times we solved the IQR on a paper? Okay, variance, how many times we solved on paper? So mathematical intuition is required. That means it is not big math. As he mentioned, it is not the big math he is talking about. He is talking about simple math. Number guy. He chose commerce because of not mathematics. Numbers. He is comfortable with numbers. And statistics is what? Numbers. Okay, probability, sampling techniques. Probability sampling, non-probability sampling, stratify, okay, judgment, all those things. So we need to understand this. What is sample? Okay, what is population? What is inferential statistics? So you're inferring about something, looking at something else. So always we work on the sample, we infer about population. So we discussed all these things. Okay, some of you did not complete yet, but still, okay, that means statisticians ruled the world before data analysts. Let's accept that. The regression techniques, the time series. Do you think the time series was invented by us? No, statistics was there since long time. Okay, regression is invented by us? No, regression is used by statisticians since long time. So that's where the algorithm regression has come into picture. And regression algorithm and a sinusoid, you get a classification. Okay, all these things are already there. Okay, time series, a big thing, right? So they were all models for all there. All these models you are looking at machine learning are based on the statistics. For that matter, we have a naive Bayes. What is naive Bayes? Again, probability technique. Okay, again, probability. Decision tree, again, graphical data. And again, it's there in that. Dendrograms and all, their graphs and all, they're long time. You're understanding, right? So stick to statistics, stick to basics. Please understand data, categorical variable. He's talking about categorical. He's talking about numerical data. Okay, quantitative data. Then we need to talk about ratio data, interval data. Okay, normal data, nominal data, ordinal data. So all these things, if you look at data, you should talk about all the parts. Okay, As if we look at the chicken and you say that I want leg piece, I want liver, I want this, like that. You need to look at the data. This is categorical, nominal, ordinal. So each data, and he is talking about looking at the data and graphical representation. Categorical, simple way. If the labels are less, pie chart, male, female. Okay, so type of selection. So these things, whether you do in Power BI, Advanced Excel, doesn't matter. What matters is going back to basics. Clear? So I like this way of approach. It was very basic. That's it. Simple. People talk about big things and all, but those process steps, if you master those steps, you are ready for the market. Clear? Good, good. And then after this, he will start, he will assign the data set. Okay, and he will give you problem statement. Please consider him as your client. Why I intervened is consider him as a client and ask him what all data you need. First of all, understanding the columns is important. Always, while training, we take simple examples because to bring into your domain. Domain knowledge is very important in data analytics. He talked about 7 domains he worked on. So 7 domain knowledge, even that is an ocean. Those domains are ocean. So we are only skimming on the top. So you need to understand that domain, whatever he is giving you, ask him the question. So what is that? What is that? What is this column? How important is this column? Don't just assume. If you don't know, ask. Okay? Data science guys, you can extend that and solve it. Okay? You can extend and solve it. So one of the target variable, you take it. Okay? One of the target variable, you take it and complete it. Clear? Good. Thanks, boss. Huh? Yeah, very good. Because I seen that. Okay, online. All you are good?
Yes, sir. Yeah, good.
Yes, sir. Very good. Luckily, you all escaped. Okay. Next time, come offline. Chalo. Then he will explain this thing. I thought I will share some of the. So be bold. Okay. He is not trainer, right? He's a professional expert from outside. Don't ask silly questions. I mean, nothing is silly or tough question. Ask something relevant. Ask something relevant. See, data science and DA. Her question is very important. Okay, in the world, everything is happening. AI, we already lost the bus. Okay, the bus trailed too far. We can't catch, India can't catch AI. But generative AI and all we are doing. The models we are using, abroad models we are using, we are training those models, not us. But India, 1.4 billion population. Why everyone loves India? Population. That means population is directly proportional to data. Who will solve the data? Uber. Uber started like this. Now Uber has so many data analysts, they can't even solve their own problems. So one thing, beautiful thing that mentioned is everything is a scenario. Everything is a scenario. That is very good thing. Okay, Hyderabad, scenario is different. Old city, scenario is different. You know that Uber had a big problem called traffic problem. Okay, they could not raise the price and could not handle traffic problem. Bangalore is a big issue. Uber won't accept, drivers won't accept fare because they'll be stuck in the traffic. How will Uber solve that problem? Is Uber related to traffic? But without the traffic problem solved, Uber cannot survive. Now you solve that problem. Okay, mapping, routing, what you'll do. Without Google AI, can you do that? No, that means you use some tools and all, but those kind of problems are real problems for Uber. Not telescopic pricing or time-based pricing or pooling and all. Bangalore had a latest issue. Carpooling is not allowed. Okay, then that will affect on the transportation. So you need to read about that. As if you are working for Uber, how can you encash it? The right thing mentioned. Whenever you join the organization, even I tell to my employees also, you're all working for your 9 to 5 job. Organization will not appreciate when you work your 9 to 5. You need to go extra. You have the talent of data analytics. Why don't you create HR analytics for the organization? Then the managers will always observe you. This guy is working for the company, not for himself only. So then they appreciate you. Whenever some opportunity comes, training or something, okay, that you take as extra load. Don't take it as extra load because organization doesn't know that this can be done. Because you are experts, right? I'm a manager, I'm hiring you as a data analyst. Who is expert here? Am I or you? So you are data analyst. You understand. Boss, the way you are doing is wrong. Don't tell on his face, he will fire you. You say something like, boss, it can be done better way. Okay, then he will say, try it. So that is how you gain some brown points. Of course, when we go to college and all, did we not gain brown points before the professors and all? Why do you think that organization is different? Why do you think that manager is not human? Even I have 100 problems, right? So if you, as a data analyst, you say that, sir, in our organization, this is happening. I identified that. Okay. You know, in the Makkah, there was a, incident happened. You read this. Okay. If you start reading, there was a stampede happened because there is only one exit and one entry. One exit and one entry, correct? So when stampede happened, everybody started rushing to the door. So because of that, more stampede happened. So then they invested, European company, okay, came to us. And what that is, analytics. Simple analytics. What is the flow? How the people are coming? Always they turn one side. I read that article, beautiful article. I said, so easily they solved it. That's it. Timing. Hyderabad, why school start at 7 o'clock and your office starts at 10 o'clock? Traffic. You see on the road, there will be some pipeline kind of wires kind of thing. You ride over that. That is eddy current. The sensor measuring how many cars passing by that road per day. Police always does that. GHMC always does that. Then they find out alternate routes and all. Okay. Congested cities. They study congested cities, which is Bangalore, Mumbai kind of thing. Okay. It is very easy to create a greenfield project. Navi Mumbai is easier than improving old city. Okay, like that. So these all, who will give the inputs to them? We give them inputs. So your role can solve many of the problems. It can be social, it can be traffic, it can be anything. So you take pride in what you're learning. Okay. And he also mentioned UPSC. When you prepare UPSC, you give your life for 2 years. You know that? 2-3 years, you give your life. Hardly we are asking you to give your life for 6 months. Okay. So 6 months, because this job is very, very, very complicated and very required job. Organizations are looking for you. They're waiting for you so that you will solve their future problems. So you need to give that seriousness for next 6 months. Okay. Enough motivation speech. So we'll go back and work on the data set. Okay. So we will review all these things. So this is, I feel a bit bad. See, covariance, correlation. Even we had a chart. We had a chart of comparing covariance and correlation. And then we gone with regression because some things covariance, correlation is addressing, but some things it is not addressing. That is like causation. Correlation is not causation. Black cat passing before you is not causing the accident. Okay, we discussed that. Then we want to regression. So all these things you please master. Independent variable, dependent variable. What is this line? Y equal to mx plus c, or beta naught plus beta 1 x. Or you talk of weights. In the deep learning, we talked of weights. Okay, W naught and all. So back propagation. You talk about this regression, goes there also. Back propagation in the deep learning. Getting it? So please take it up and now ask him. Now it's already too late, but maybe you ask him to write questions about the data set. Then you can solve it. Okay, good. Chalo. Okay, it's all yours. You want to take a break or you want to finish?
You want to take a break? I'm fine.
Do you guys want to break or you can carry on? So what is the plan? Like you explain the data set?
I have my problem statements. Data set first.
Okay. So you explain then, okay, we'll break for lunch. Yeah. Okay. So you explain the data set and give the problem statement. Let's read it. If you don't understand it, ask him. Okay. And, especially look at the columns and all. Most of you may not understand the columns. Okay. The variables, the features, whatever you call. Okay. Please ask that. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for giving the opportunity. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I will. Thanks.